you. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing amazing. If you've come here for my last video, you are probably one of the nicest people on the planet because everyone that's watched that video has been so amazing and so nice to me. Thank you so much. I do not deserve all of your kind words. It's admittedly made me a little bit nervous to do this video because I'm like, oh my gosh, those people love that video so much. And they said they like listening to me talk. And then, then I'm going to do this video and they're going to be like, oh, actually, she sucks. And I hate this kind of video. I was like, they can't know that this is actually terrible. But I decided that that was probably crazy, so we're doing it anyway. So, hi, welcome. This video starts out really calm and lovely because in this video I am drawing on a Sunday morning. It's raining, it's beautiful. I'm drawing with my brand new Prismacolor pencils before, and they are just buttery soft and lovely, and I love this color palette that was available. It's lovely. It's perfect for the kind of art that I love to do. And so I decided it would be so fun to draw rain, like little rain droplets on things. Really, this was all just an excuse to try out my Prismacolor pencils. Specifically, I wanted to try them out with my acrylic markers I used in the last video. Did you hear my dog bark? Sorry. They're currently scratching the door because I am not letting them in here and they want to know what it is that I am doing. First here, I'm trying to draw some blades of grass. I am so nervous now that people will actually see the videos that I'm posting that I don't even know what to say. I'm like, this is grass and this is a pencil and this is a pencil on paper drawing grass. Like that's all I can think of right now. And I apologize. I am so sorry. I will figure this out, probably. At this point in my sketchbook, it is still very experimental. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of supplies I like, what works well with the paper, what supplies work well together versus not. With these Prismacolors, I'm really happy that it already has like a predetermined palette that already feels very much like me, and that really helps in deciding what colors to use because all of the colors already look great together. But the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video is a problem that a lot of artists face, which is wrist pain. Wrist pain hits very close to home for me because back in high school, I had a wrist injury after bowling. And from that, I have had weakness in my wrist for years since then. There has been multiple times in my life that I cannot draw at all because the wrist pain is so bad. At one point, the worst it ever got, it was hurting constantly, even like right when I woke up in the morning. It was just always hurting, and I actually got physical therapy for my wrist. I was really worried I was getting arthritis because at the time I was doing a lot of commissions. But I was told that I had a lot of weakness in my wrist and that's where all of the pain was coming from. And so since then, I've been working on gaining strength in my wrist, which I definitely have done, and I'm really proud of how far I've come. The pain has been knocked down to, I only have pain about 25% of the time now instead of 105% of the time. But part of what really helped me overcome my wrist pain was the fact that I switched to digital art. Maybe you wouldn't think it, but at least for me, drawing digitally on the iPad is so much easier on my wrist because the stylus really glides across the screen and there isn't really any friction, and the pressure sensitivity is so much more sensitive than it is in real life with a real pencil. So I never had to press really hard. You never want to press really hard. You're gonna hurt your iPad or your stylus, right? Plus, this giant purple gripper you see me using that my dogs just took a fat bite out of for no reason at all, completely unprovoked. I would always use one of those on my stylus, and that really helps so much. It really helps me feel like I have a lot more control over the utensil that I'm using, and it really reduces my wrist pain quite a bit. But as I was getting into traditional drawing and sketching, I was not using my grippers on things because, as you know, like even here, I swatched like 10 Prismacolor pencils or however many there are. I am swatching all of these supplies. Am I really gonna switch my gripper every single time I want to switch to a different utensil? And that's just annoying. But the truth is, it's better for my wrist and it prevents a lot of pain. Some of the thicker utensils, like the acrylic markers, really don't bother me, at least not for a while. I'd have to use them for a while for them to start to hurt. But the thinner things like Prismacolor pencils or regular pencils or like the really thin mechanical pencils, those kinds of things, they really start to get to me pretty bad. They start irritating my wrist. I would say like definitely within the first 10 minutes of using it, which means you don't get hardly anything done at all. Here, I think my wrist was already like kind of weak from drawing so much because I have been sketching a lot privately too, just to try to warm up my hand and get used to drawing on paper again. I know that sounds crazy because I've been an artist for years, but like genuinely for the last 4 to 5 years, I have only done traditional artwork and it is different. Like it's the same in so many ways and it is wildly different in so many ways. And trying to figure out how, like, I had this workflow that was working for me digitally, right? And then now trying to figure out that workflow traditionally is just so difficult, but also really fun. It is fun to experiment. It is fun to grab some random colors and scribble on a page and see what happens. And that is amazing. So instead of getting frustrated, which, you know, I have gotten frustrated a little bit a couple times, instead of staying frustrated, I'm like, look, this is fun. It doesn't matter. You don't have to love everything you do at first. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means. You can just experiment and have fun. This is a sketchbook, not a museum. It's not a big deal. You can also see that I'm gonna stop to roll my wrist a lot and stretch it and massage it because at this point it was really starting to get to me. This was early morning and that was really annoying to me because I'm like, it's already like, it's so early in the day. Is my wrist going to hurt for the rest of the day? Like, that's not really fair. But I've figured out that lots of things help me, and one thing that helps me, it's called diclofenac gel, I believe. It used to be prescription only, but now you can get it over the counter, and essentially it's a targeted anti-inflammatory cream. So you kind of have to put a lot on, but if you put a lot on your knee or your wrist, or a lot of people use it for joint pain or back pain, the anti-inflammatory properties really target that one area. So it doesn't help immediately, but about 2 hours after this point, my wrist wasn't hurting anymore. So it does definitely help eventually. Doesn't really help in the moment. The grippers help in the moment. The stretching doesn't really help me in the moment, I don't feel. I know that stretching and like massaging of the wrist is good for long-term wrist care and wrist health, but like in the moment, it just kind of feels like stressing that area a little bit more than I need to. I'm also having another strange problem that I am just now really starting to understand. It happened actually on this page when I first was drawing the raindrops on the blades of grass. I meant to say this earlier, but I colored them all yellow. I thought I saw like yellow in the photo, but then obviously when I colored it that color, it looked like, I don't know how to say this in a classy way, but it looked like, you know, my puppies had decided to pee-pee on that spot of grass. That's what it looked like. It did not look like rain. It looked like an animal had marked its territory and ran on by. And that was not the vibe. That was not the look I was looking for. And intellectually, I'm like, well, obviously, if you paint liquid or draw liquid to be yellow on grass, it is going to look like urine. But I didn't think that at the time because I felt like I saw yellow in the picture and the picture did not look like urine. And so, oh my God, Allie, this voiceover is getting really weird. I'm sorry. But I was thinking like, I genuinely think that I see colors that are not there. I know I'm losing you. Just wait a second. Okay, let me explain myself. Okay, you know that one scene of that kid from that movie? Yeah, I know that's like super specific. Okay, let me try to like find a picture where he's like, I see, no, I can't even say it. I'm gonna die. Okay. He's like, I see dead people and they don't know they're dead. That impression's not good because I can't stop laughing. And he says it a lot creepier than that, but he's like, I see dead people and they don't know they're dead. That's me, but with color. Okay, I see colors that aren't there. Okay, I'm like, I saw yellow in the raindrops, but it wasn't really there. Like, that's how I'm starting to feel about myself. Because sometimes I pick up a colored pencil or a marker to paint this, and then I'm like, why did I think that was a perfect match? That doesn't look anything like it should look. And I've noticed that as I've continued to experiment in this sketchbook, and traditionally, I'm like, what am I doing exactly? I think I didn't notice it so much in digital artwork because if one color was sticking out weird to me, I just kind of selected it and just moved it around on the color wheel until it looked more normal. Let me give you an example, okay? Because I am realizing that everything I've said doesn't make sense, but it's also because I don't understand what I'm talking about. So, imagine I'm drawing an apple, a red apple. I will naturally, obviously you grab the color red, right? But I will also naturally grab yellow to put in the highlight area. I'll grab pink to put in the mid-tone area, and then I'll grab purple to put in the shadow area, and then I'll grab like a navy dark blue to put in the deepest shadow part. And I look at that and I'm like, that's a red apple. And then someone else would look at that a lot of times and they'll be like, oh, that's a yellow, pink, red, purple, blue apple. I have to really limit my color palettes because of that, because every color I grab, I'm like, what goes good with this color? This other color. And then I just keep going until I'm 10 colors deep and I'm like, oh, this is not exactly what I wanted this to look like. But I'm trying to just embrace that in other sketch pages that I will show you guys. I am really kind of experimenting with the fact that I feel like I see colors really weird. In my last video, I was talking about how I can't really tell the difference between royal blue and royal purple because I see so much blue in the purples and so much purple in the blues. Even though those colors I can't really tell apart, I am noticing when I'm drawing, I'm like, oh, what would go good with purple? Some red. Oh, and orange looks really good with red. And obviously yellow looks really good with orange. And a complementary color to orange is blue. And then purple, like a deep purple, I love the way that looks with blue. And what about a fuchsia, a magenta? I just keep adding more and more colors. I think that it will be interesting for me to experiment with that some more because I need to find a way to embrace that strange quality of mine and limit it, okay? Embrace and limit at the same time. At this point, I could hear my family waking up, my wrist was hurting. I was like, okay, this is not going, this is not as peaceful as I first thought this was gonna be. So I decided to draw something that would take up a big portion of the page. And although spiders, I'm sorry if you're someone that loves spiders, spiders are the bane of my existence. I feel personally targeted by spiders a lot. And you know what? I'm not gonna explain that. It's just the truth. No, you know what? I am gonna explain that. A spider looks at me and runs at me. And that is not fair, okay? We are supposed to avoid each other. I feel like spiders seek me out personally, and I am the one that goes running, screaming, even though I am way bigger than they are, okay? Everyone has their weaknesses and their faults, and this is mine, okay? But despite that, I wanted to draw a spider web with rain droplets on it, and I just like to pretend that this spider web is long abandoned and isn't currently the home of any spiders, okay? Or maybe a very nice spider, okay? Side note right here, my puppies woke up and like I said, they have incredible FOMO, fear of missing out. They desperately wanted to know what I was doing, so I just was like, I am filming, here you go, and they are so cute. I love getting videos of them. I love them so much. If you don't like dogs, then you're not gonna like this channel, and I'm not gonna like you being here. How about that? No, I'm just kidding. I know people are genuinely afraid of dogs. But comparing this page to the last page, it's really fun. I like outlining the smaller paintings. I think that looks really cool to kind of make smaller paintings on a large page. This is the largest sketchbook I've ever had. So being able to do so many drawings on one page, I'm not really used to, but it is really fun to be like, oh, well, this corner is still missing something. It's still so blank. What could we put over there? And that's what I think of when I put the clovers in, is I was like, I need something over here. And it really helps you think outside of the box and really keep growing and keep going. Oh, that's so cute. That's an inspirational quote for you. Keep growing and keep going. See, this is why people in my life don't hand me a microphone normally, you know, because I'll just say things and just keep talking. But you guys seem to really like it in the last video, which is good because this is who I am. So yeah, if you liked this video and you want to see more of me or you want to hear more of me talk, then like and subscribe. That was the most unhinged voiceover. I do not want to edit this.